we've come here. You can see behind me, it looks like we're at a gym. We're not. We're at Heart Path. And I'm here with Mary Richard. I'm going to let you introduce your title and what you do here.
Okay, my name's Mary Richard, and I'm a registered nurse, and I'm the program director here at Heart Path.
Okay, and she's going to tell us all about what goes on here. And I know that if you're like me, just a few months ago, you didn't know this existed. And then I've been introduced to it in a very personal way, which you've either heard about or are about to hear about. But Mary's going to tell us what it is. And that's the main thing I want the folks at home to know. What is Heart Path? And I know there's two different paths here, or probably more than that, but just tell us kind of an overview of what Heart Path is.
Okay, Heart Path started in Asheville area in 1983 at Mission Hospital, and it is a continuum type kind of program. We start at the inpatient hospital. The Heart Path staff that works there actually does discharge instructions or the pre-op instructions to get the patient ready for any procedure that they're having, whether it's a pacemaker, whether it's a cardiac catheterization, whether it's open heart surgery or valve surgery, and then they go ahead and go over the discharge instructions prior to them being discharged from the hospital. And then if they live locally, they actually are referred to our program.
Yeah, so they don't have to come here.
No.
But they're strongly urged.
They're always, and sometimes we have an order from a physician that says that they need to come to the Heart Path Cardiac Rehab Program after their cardiac event. If they live in the region, then our staff and the inpatient refers them to those closest, the cardiac rehab program closest to them, where they live. So once they come over here, we have, they have a telemetry program. Telemetry where they wear a box.
A heart monitor.
A heart monitor.
Okay.
Yes, a heart monitor. It's a telemetry box. And then we have a monitor tech that watches them while they're exercising. It's looking at their heart rate and their heart rhythm. We check blood pressures and ask them what their rate of perceived exertion, what their RPE is, because we want to know how are they feeling with that exercise.
Because let's say that you've had, and let's just use this as an example, a full-blown heart attack, and you've had surgery. I would think getting out and exercising would be a little scary.
It is, and a lot of it depends on how active they were prior to that cardiac event. If they're half marathon runners or whatever, I think they're a little bit more comfortable with what their body, because they've always listened to their body. If they've been very sedentary prior to their event, then it is a little bit more scary. But even those ones that run a marathon, they still question, how safe am I? Because it is scary to have that event.
I would think so.
And it does bring in a question about mortality. I may not have made it through. And so they do have those emotional issues that go along. It's not just physical, it's also emotional.
So you bring them first into Heart Path and they go into that
telemetry part of the program. And then after 12 weeks or whatever their insurance typically covers, once they graduate, then they can elect to either go to a home exercise program that they want to do on their own. They can go to a local gym, or they can elect to stay in Heart Path and go into the maintenance program. The one thing that we're different from a gym is that we are medically supervised. We have physicians that answer to any emergency up here. There is a medical director, Dr. William Wharton, who actually looks at the charts and signs off on all the charts, and it's always every 30 days reviewing what's happening with the program with that specific patient.
Now I'm at Heart Path. I go 3 days a week. First thing in the morning, 6:30 to 8 o'clock. They put a heart monitor on me, and they got the computer over there, and it monitors all your vitals, your oxygen level, heart rate, and all that. Do 20 minutes on treadmill. 15 to 20 minutes on stationary bike. At the end of the last 20 minutes of the time, we do exercises with weights and relaxation and stretching and all that. Teach me about diet. The stuff that I used to do, I don't do anymore. You know, I never was a person to read labels or anything like that, and now I pick up everything I pick up. You know, I'm checking labels on the back of it, the sodium content and saturated fat and the sugar and all that. So, yeah, changed the whole way that I eat.
Heart Path, the thing that really is surprising to me, which I didn't think was going to be that way, was that they really care. That they pay attention to you. They want you to be healthy. They want you to be an example to others. They want you to be able to go out and do the things. I was really surprised that they told me when I started running to let them know, and then they would actually come to the races and cheer me on. which I'm like, that doesn't make sense because nobody does that. And they have doctors and nurses and people who are specialists with heart and everything right there all the time. Before I went to the hospital, I weighed 191, and today I weigh 154. And it's really kind of funny because it all came off just really slow but steady. It was every 2 or 3 days I was losing a half pound to a pound and going the heart path, starting on the treadmill and working my way up to an elliptical. And so I do 40 minutes on an elliptical at a pretty high pace and high rate. I do the Schwinn Airdyne, and I lift weights.
Well, I'm doing 36 treatments, and they're saying that at the end of that treatment that I should be fine and be able to go back to normal living, you know, exercising and diet and all that, but they have a program where you can continue on. You don't have to stop at the 36 weeks. You can continue on as long as you want.
I didn't want to go on a diet because a diet's something you go on and you go off of. So I felt like it would be better to just go ahead and change everything about the way I eat, exercise, just everything. So I cut out lots of things that I really like to eat a lot. Burgers and fries and hot dogs. Don't eat that stuff anymore. Eat a lot of chicken, whole grain, fruits and vegetables, pretty much it.
We're trying to take care of them.
Right.
We're not trying to be the Weight Watcher police and whatever, but if they're retaining fluid, we want to know that. If they've
Absolutely.
gained this big 5-pound weight gain, then we need to know why. Did you just eat at the Chinese restaurant this weekend, or are you retaining fluid? And so we need to know that. And the blood pressure, is it starting to climb? Because a lot of times after a cardiac event, especially in open heart surgery, they will take them off their blood pressure medicine and then watch and see if it's resolved or if it's climbing back up. And so that's one of the reasons why we check blood pressures, resting blood pressures.
Exercise is not the only thing that people, they've got some
Emotional issues.
Some people have had stress issues that brought them in here.
Absolutely.
So-
And that's why we have a psychologist that's affiliated with, in fact, we have 2 psychologists that are affiliated with our program. What we do is we do psychosocial testing, quality of life, where are you now at the beginning of the program, and then where are you after, you've completed the 12 weeks. And then annually we do that as well, because we're always assessing what is going on in your life. The psychologists actually conduct a class that talks about stress management, and then we have mini education classes, and there's a series of 3 that also talk about stress and what can you do to relax or de-stress and those kind of issues. We have 2 dietitians, registered dietitians that work in our program as well, and they conduct mini education classes, but they're also available for any questions that come up. And one of the classes that they teach is on food labeling, and one's on dining out. Because we have a big population, especially as we get older, you don't really want to cook at home, so they teach them how to make healthier choices when they're eating out. So that's one of the other classes that they teach. And
That's awesome. And as they're going through the classes and having the stress management and learning how to properly exercise, if there's any episode, they've got you professionals here that can take care of that episode.
Right, all the nurses are ACLS, Advanced Cardiac Life Saving, and all the other staff are CPR, or the basic life.
Right.
Because they're now encouraged to exercise, they know how to do it safely. It's a lifestyle change, plus it's a support system, and we haven't really touched on that yet, is that, you're in exercising and in a class, because you're assigned a class that you've chosen the time that you want, with other people that have experienced cardiac events. So you have that comfort to know that everyone in this room that's exercising has been in your shoes at one point or another, has experienced the same stuff that you have, emotionally, physically, and they become friends. Their friends hold them accountable. Where were you on Wednesday when you didn't show up? Or, where have you been the last week? And even the staff is holding them accountable, but even their peers are holding them accountable.
Yeah,
so it's
that's
very
so
good for
important.
them.
Well, and that is just complete care, because like we've heard, we don't want you to have a heart issue.
No.
You need to do it on the front end.
That's right.
But sometimes you're going to have the issue anyway. Mission's going to fix you, take care of you, but then they're not going to drop you. They're going to bring you in here, and that is amazing.
And give you the tools
Care.
to
And
keep it
teach
going.
you. Yeah, it's important to know your numbers. It's important to know
Absolutely.
your body, to listen to your body, and then ask for help, because
Right.
again, all this is available.
Right. Right.
Amazing.
We're here.
That's right.
We're just trying to get the word out. So thank you for doing that.
Yeah, oh, you're welcome.